almost like a thick daddy big dick material. Why did I have such low expectations for this brand?
Hi Haz's channel, my name's Rosie, I'm 19, and Haz has kindly given me the opportunity to speak up about the things that I've faced as a mixed race girl. What she's doing is amazing, and I'm really glad that I have this opportunity to speak to you guys about the things that I face. So a few things before I start talking about everything. First thing is that I know I'm not black, I'm mixed race, so I'm half black, half white. I'm pointing this out because in some respects the black struggle is a lot different to the mixed race struggle. I know that I have a lot more privilege being mixed race and being half white. We still obviously face the microaggressions and the racial abuse, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about. So I basically got a list of things that have happened to me and my sister. So anyway, let's just get into it because I don't want to ramble. So the first thing, which is actually quite common, and it's really weird, I think it's just because mixed race people, black people, people of colour in general, a minority obviously against white people in this country, specifically England, people for some reason sometimes think that we're all related. It's really weird. I went to a shop once, like a big supermarket, and I was going to the checkout, checking out my stuff, and the lady was like, "Oh, your sister was in here earlier," and I was like, no, she wasn't. I'm really not saying it's the lady's fault that she did this, but firstly, we didn't know each other, and I think that's, you know, obviously key in this situation. I didn't know her, she didn't know me. She just assumed that I had a sister. She just assumed that my sister had been to the store. I don't know, everything was just weird about the situation. Leading on from that, the people who are like, "Oh, is that your brother, is that your sister," kind of thing. I've had this in primary school, I've had this in secondary school, and I've had this in sixth form. Having grown up in the area that I have grown up in, I was one of very few mixed race people. When I say very few, I think in primary school, out of about 300, just under 300 kids, there was probably 4 of us, I want to say. That's including my sister. So everybody automatically assumed that we were all related to each other, which is just so weird because I don't go around saying, all these white people are related to you. Like, is that your cousin? Is that your granddad? Obviously not, just because you have the same skin tone. I can understand that this stems from us being a minority group, and perhaps they didn't realize that there was another, you know, brown, black and white family in the village, but it's the assumption that shouldn't really be made. Yeah, I don't know, that's just an odd one. The next thing I want to talk about is hair. Yes, oh my god. Some people feel at liberty to just touch your hair. I don't know, it's just so weird to me because, okay, maybe it's a different texture to some people, but I know a lot of people with curly, frizzy hair whose hair I would never think to touch or want to touch. I just think it's a really odd thing to do. Even if someone had the weirdest kind of hairstyle, like a Mohican, like I don't understand why you'd want to touch that. Obviously, I can say no to these people. There's nothing, you know, stopping me from saying no, but for some reason I feel obliged to say yes because they're fascinated, interested in my hair, they like my hair, they're giving me compliments, so I'm like, okay, yeah, you can touch my hair, but really, I don't want you to touch my hair. I don't know, it's just weird. Another thing, which I think's been brought up a little bit, is comparing people of colour to other people of colour, like celebrity lookalikes, except the celebrity lookalikes look nothing like you. It's just because they have the same skin tone. For example, one that I usually always get, which is so weird to me because we look completely different, is Fleur East. Yeah, I know, I don't look like Fleur East. We have no similarities, I just don't get it. Comparing brown people to other brown people just because they're both brown, it's a bit weird. But anyway. Okay, here's the next thing, is people asking to say the N-word, which again, no, you just can't say it, just don't say it. That's the answer. So for example, I go to parties and I'd be the only black, brown girl, whatever, or person of colour there because the area that I live in is predominantly white, so I was the only mixed race girl there. Obviously there's a lot of songs that get played at parties and festivals and whatever, clubs, whatever, that say the N-word. And so I would be asked to give people permission to say the word in songs. And because I was naive and because I wanted to fit in and just because I didn't want to feel like I was the only one there that was different to other people, I would say yes. The worst part about it was that once I'd said yes to these people, they'd be like, "Oh my god, you're the best, you're a legend." Like, what the As if me having given someone permission to say a word that they know they shouldn't say because it's wrong makes me a good person, makes me a cool person. It's just so up. I'm sorry. The next 3 instances that I have are the worst of them all. So the first one is, this is probably the worst one for me because it made me feel very insecure and anxious. I was walking down the street with my sister and a van drove past with 2 guys in the front, 2 white men. They wound down their windows and they heckled us with monkey noises. I was so angry. I screamed at them and probably people thought I was crazy because they probably didn't hear. I screamed at the van and I went home and I cried and I shouted and I was so angry because it made me so upset for good reason. I'm sure I don't need to explain that to you. We have a friend who works for BBC Kent. They recorded my side of the story and put it on radio. People were calling in and talking about the instance or whatever, and this one guy called in and was like, no, she could have heard them wrong, she's probably lying, and all of this stuff. It just makes me feel like people think that this doesn't happen when it clearly does, and even if they're told that it happens, they choose to ignore it. Yeah, every time I stepped foot out of the house for a while, I was so scared because I didn't want the same blue van to drive around the corner, wind down their windows again. It just made me so uncomfortable. It was definitely the worst of all my experiences, hands down. It really broke me for a while. Obviously, what made it particularly bad was the fact that people could call in and say that I was lying. That really got me, you know, because then not only did I experience this racial abuse, then had to lead to other people not believing that it happened. The second worst racially motivated situation that I've been in, so I was in the park with my friends. We were just walking along, minding our own business, and I don't know how it happened. We must have looked at them, you know, when some people feel really funny when you look at them a certain way and they think that you're like, I don't know, wanting to fight them for some reason. These three girls who I knew from primary school, one of them I knew from primary school, and she's in fact the one that said it, younger than me, probably a couple years younger than me. She shouted at me, she told me to go back to my own country. What country do you think I come from? In fact, I speak English better than you do, which is just ironic, and it was really that it happened, but I'm so glad that I was with friends when it happened because I could brush it off a little better. Yeah, I'm really glad that I was with my friends, and yeah, it's just The worst one and the last one on my list actually happened to my sister and not to me. My sister was bitten by one of her classmates' dogs. So badly, in fact, that she had to go on antibiotics. She had to go to the doctors, get prescribed antibiotics. It was that bad. The dog really did her dirty. Clearly not the dog's fault, obviously. This was when she was really young and she still has the scar now. A whole year after this had happened to her, the boy that dog had bitten her went to my sister. My dog only bit you because you're black and my dog doesn't like black people. This 9-year-old boy turned to my sister and told her that she was bitten because her dog doesn't like black people. Oh my god. 9 years old. This is why it is so important to educate kids, because clearly his parents have raised him extremely poorly. For him to say that at 9 years old, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. But yeah. Anyway, if you can relate to any of these stories because you're mixed race, because you're black, because you're a person of colour, I really hope that you've recovered and are doing okay. To end on a good note, my sister and I are completely fine. We've been taught very well from our parents that we should always remind ourselves that we are always better than the people who try to bring us down, that we will always go further than the people who try to oppress us, who try to bully us. My sister and I both know that one day we will go off and achieve amazing things that these people that try to bring us down could never achieve. That there's no need to care about these people because they're not going to be in your life, they're not a part of your life, they're not going to do well for themselves, and you're better than them, basically. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me about any of this stuff, if you want to talk it through, if you want to talk about stuff that you face, feel free to message me. Shameless self-promo, but I'll put my Instagram here if you want to discuss anything, talk about anything. I'm here to listen. Anyway guys, thank you so much for listening to my TED Talk. I really hope this was a little bit informative, told you a bit of how racism exists in the UK. I hope you guys have a good day wherever you are. Thank you for listening.
So groovy girlies, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a haul of sustainable and ethical clothing, which has been a long time coming on this channel. If you watch one of my recent videos, you'll know that I'm really trying to stray away from fast fashion, heavily encouraging you guys as well to like shop on Depop and independent brands, ethical and sustainable brands, and today we have a few. This video was supposed to have another brand in, but I'll just have to do that in another video. Sadly, the shipping took a month and I didn't know that. That's the only downside of sustainable clothing. Some of it doesn't really have like a quick turnaround. However, the ones mentioned in today's video do, and I have been very guilty of falling in love with the fast fashion brands as well because of the quick delivery, but I promise you these brands will not disappoint. Before I do dive straight into this video, I want to give you guys a little tip which has helped me massively with the whole where to shop sustainably, because I get so many messages from you guys saying, do you know if this brand is good? I've heard this about a brand, is this true? And I sadly don't have all the knowledge as much as I do want to, but there's so many brands and so many things that goes on behind the scenes. I literally would not have a clue. However, there is actually an app that has been curing all these problems for me, and it's is called Good On You. So the Good On You app released articles on like where's the best place to get sustainable face masks for the current climate, what's the best ethical denim brand. But you can also search specific brands and see how ethical and how sustainable they actually are, despite what they say. For example, I've just searched Weekday because a lot of you were telling me to actually buy from Weekday, saying it was a good brand to represent in this video. However, it's not. So Good On You has ratings from we should avoid, it's a star, and completely ethical. It tells you the different areas such as how they treat their workers, how good it is for the environment, and if they do test on animals. And as we can see, their labour is really good, which means they treat their workers well. The environment and animal, it's a start, so I assume they didn't used to be, but now they're making a change, which is really, really good. And if you scroll down, it actually gives you similar brands that are actually better in the sustainable and ethical world. Another brand that I'm just going to call out, not specifically, it was just the first brand that came to my head because I have actually bought from this clothing brand before, you guys know this, is Misguided. The environment section is very poor, and that will be because they are fast fashion. They have so much waste that goes to landfill, they produce so much stock that they're obviously not going to be able to shift it all, and obviously you've got the ones that go wrong. So this app is literally the best. This is not sponsored, may I just add. It's just a really good app that has been helping me through this whole change that I want to do with my life. If you do want to download the Good On You app, I will leave a link in the description straight to the app store. You can actually just access this from your internet browser. You don't actually have to have the app. So on that lovely note, I think we should just get straight into trying on the clothes. So the first brand that I ordered from is called Minga. This is literally my clothing sense down to a T. I really struggled to find brands that weren't just basics and that actually did clothes that, you know, that I actually wear. And ever since Dolls Kill got cancelled, I genuinely have been struggling to see where to shop, because I admittedly did shop at Dolls Kill quite often. So now that I've cancelled them myself, where am I supposed to shop? Minga is a very good place if you're looking for a replacement like me. So I only ordered 4 items because I was expecting a parcel from Mate. However, as I said, the delivery takes a month. The first thing that I'm really confused about is the fact that it's come in plastic packaging. I hope that it's recycled plastics. I literally have no idea. So the first item that I picked is this absolutely insanely cute, we're just gonna skip over that. I just thought this would be so cute tucked into some like high-waisted jeans, light wash, you know what I'm saying? I'm just really hoping they fit me, because jeans are such a weird thing for me. They either fit so well but a little bit too tight that I can't breathe, or they're a bit too big. Just to be on the safe side that they don't literally suffocate me, I brought a 28 waist. I'm usually a 26, but that is literally where I'm like suffocating. So these are actually a pretty good fit. Like, I've still got room to move, and they do sit on my hips so perfectly if you do want like a low-rise jean. They don't like sit too low either, which is good if you do want to wear them low-rise. I think, for example, with this top, are you kidding me? That is so cute. This is the leg of the jean as well. It's not a straight leg, but it's also not flared. I am fucking obsessed. I have never fallen so in love with a pair of jeans and a top in my life. The material for this top, let me just say, is so freaking comfortable. I had a really big worry that it was going to be like paper thin and not be a very nice material, because it's made organically. This is super cute. So this is the full fit, so you can see it properly. This is just exactly what I want, and I can't believe these jeans are sustainable. So the top, I think, was on sale actually from £19 down to 15, which was really, really good. They continuously have sales on their site, so I go check it out. The jeans were 55. However, I would pay even more money for jeans this quality. They're so thick, they're so like big, I can just move around. I'm speechless. Tell me you're having me on. Like, tell me that this is a sick joke. I don't have words. I don't have words. This top is the nicest material I've ever put on my body. This is like a thick daddy big dick material. Why did I have such low expectations for this brand? Like, can somebody inform me of that? I feel like it is a general overall stigma that people have that these sustainable brands are gonna be shit quality. Probably because the only sustainable brands we've all ever invested in were like startup companies, where being sustainable didn't really have that much of an economical push money-wise. I feel like because of the whole climate change movement, and now people are more investing in black-owned brands, thank God, and cancelling fast fashion so much because of the fact that they exploit their workers. A whole part of the movement. If you don't know about it, I'll leave some links below, because, well, you really should not shop at these brands anymore. The sad thing is that all of the information was there, we just wasn't taking the appropriate action with it, and we wasn't taking proper interest in it either. So now that that's all came to the front, I really do think there's going to be more of a push with sustainable brands. Like, economically, I think people are going to be putting more money into it, which means they can produce better quality of clothing. I don't know which top I prefer, and I know I keep adding this bag, but it's just because it's like a Y2K version. Done it again. Aside from the jeans, I think this is my favourite. Little frills along the bottom. I am literally living my sustainable clothing fantasy right now. Guys, I can't even tell you how happy I am that these clothes actually came good. I was shitting myself. Fast fashion is officially cancelled. I genuinely can say that I'm never going back to fast fashion after this, because what is the literal need when clothing ranges like this exist? Like, hello. I did have my doubts, but I can firmly say, why did I hold my tits when I said firmly? I can officially say this has topped the fucking charts. Fast fashion is cancelled, babe. So I do apologise if any of these clothes are a bit too big for me, because they are in Byron's size, not mine. I was going to order from Newin. That's the clothing range that I'm about to show you. And then Byron literally had a massive order come through the door, and I was like, oh my god, pretty please, can I try on the clothes for my sustainable video? You would literally be a godsend. And here I am, trying them on for you. So this like loungewear sweatshirt would be the cutest thing, just tucked into some jeans, which is what I'm doing right now. I am totally digging this. And they do loads of other colours as well. I saw a black one in Byron's room. However, they also do hoodies. Look at me being professional, putting them on the rail. So we also have these two incredibly cute numbers as well. Byron actually wore this in one of my recent videos, so I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. You all said he looked like Sporticus. But when I tell you he hasn't took these clothes off in about 3 weeks, that's not a lie. So Nuin's prices for me are a little bit pricier than Minga. I don't know if I'd pay this much for loungewear, but you do have to remember it's sustainable and you are paying a little bit more for that. Minga, in my perspective, is more affordable and cuter designs. Nuin is more for like basics and more like high-end fashion maybe. I also really like the creators of Nuin Fashion, who are Marcus and his girlfriend Stephanie. They are literally two of the coolest people. I love their fashion sense. So the fact that they're like driven to make a sustainable brand is pretty cool. If you do want to check out more of Nuin, I'll leave them in the description, but also there's some photos of Byron looking cute as hell in it. Ew, why am I promoting him so much? That's fucking sickening. A lot of you are probably already familiar with my friend Tiff. I spoke about her quite a lot on this channel and also on my Instagram stories. Tiff makes the cutest bikinis under her brand called Slogan, and she gets fabrics and bits of plastic that would usually go to waste or end up in the oceans, and she regenerates them and makes the cutest bikinis. So I'll also leave her link in the description as well. Basically, just head down to the description. The Good On You app, Newin, Minga, Lucy and Yak is also a really good one, which I couldn't actually get my hands on, as well as Slow Garments as well. But I mean, everything is just going to be in the description. I know that shops have opened, but I personally am not going shopping because I still don't want to catch COVID. It is a thing still, let's not forget. But on that note, I am actually going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next video.